In a realm where vast mazes sprawled across the landscape, beckoning daring adventurers to explore and conquer, a fabled tale echoed among the bold souls of this world. Once in every few decades, within the intricate web of these infinite mazes, a mysterious phenomenon occurred, an enigmatic black hole materialized, leading to another realm. It was rumored that those who braved the black hole and emerged unscathed would be rewarded with unimaginable wealth and superhuman prowess. In the daunting backward maze, nestled on the 38th floor, the boss room unveiled a scene of triumph. A colossal monster lay defeated on the cold floor, flanked by two figures. The executor of the finishing blow, a man with short, ebony hair and a stoic countenance, bore the moniker adventurer Lean, known as the One-Eyed Wolf. He sheathed his sword and saluted the fallen creature, a gesture of respect for the former. Beside him stood another adventurer, a robust man dubbed Adventurer Bod, the man-eating bear. Bod, with a hearty chuckle, acknowledged Lean's swift victory, claiming it was anticipated. Lean, in turn, praised Bod's flawless coordination, acknowledging the symbiotic dance that led to their triumph. The camaraderie between the two was evident as they exchanged banter, with Lean expressing gratitude for Bod's support. Using his unique life sensor skill, Lean probed the monster's remains for any lingering signs of life. To his surprise, there was an eerie absence of life force. Despite the lack of abnormalities, Bod's attention had shifted elsewhere. He questioned Lean about what had captured his gaze. Turning together, the two adventurers beheld an ominous and infamous black hole, the very gateway that had lured them with promises of unimaginable rewards. Lean admitted that, even with his extraordinary abilities, he couldn't perceive what lay beyond the void. Curiosity gripped them, and Bod questioned the uncharted territory that awaited those who dared to traverse the black hole. With unwavering determination, Lean declared his intent to venture into the unknown, prompting Bod's laughter as he joined the daring quest. However, as they crossed the threshold, reality shifted. The ground vanished beneath them, and the two found themselves plummeting into an abyss of darkness. The black hole swallowed them whole, severing ties with the maze they had conquered. As consciousness waned, Lean awoke on a bed of unfamiliar grass within a mysterious forest. Groaning, he surveyed his surroundings, pondering the duration of his slumber. Calling out to Bod yielded only silence. The black hole had vanished, leaving no trace. It became apparent that Lean had emerged in a world beyond the black hole, a realm teeming with exotic flora. Employing his life sensor skill once more, Lean was confounded. The feeble traces of life indicated an absence of familiar human presence. The verdant landscape seemed alien, and Lean grappled with the enigma of the world that lay beyond the beckoning black hole. Amidst the verdant surroundings, Lean sensed the absence of familiar red dots, indicating that Bod had likely been transported to a different place, perhaps even a different world. Despite his unease, Lean's perceptual range expanded to 1,000 feet, revealing a troubling development. A blue dot, the azure hue signified a magical beast, not a typical life force. Wary of the magical creature's presence, Lean swiftly retrieved his sword from his storage, a skill that retained its efficacy in this unfamiliar realm. Standing poised, he awaited the approaching beast, contemplating whether it perceived him as prey. A creature resembling the letter IB emerged from the trees, charging at Lean. With a deft slash, Lean dispatched the monster, offering a gesture of respect for its demise. Although the beast belonged to a species unknown to Lean, he recognized the opportunity to absorb its magical power. Within seconds, he successfully extracted the magic stone from the creature's heart, a skill reminiscent of his exploits in his previous world. Empowered by this newfound ability, Lean resolved to explore the extent of his capabilities in this uncharted realm. Setting off in search of sustenance, Lean's plans were disrupted by a distant scream, perplexing him. His life sensor detected no humans in the vicinity, leading him to believe it was a magically induced cry. However, upon reassessment, 2 red dots appeared, signifying the presence of humans. Determined to unravel the mystery of this world, Lean sprinted towards the source of the disturbance. Meanwhile, 2 similar, breed-like monsters menaced a carriage guarded by a knight. Lean's agile movements through the forest brought him closer to the unfolding scene. Noticing the halted movements of the lives he had sensed, he deduced that one demon had been shaken off during the chase. Undeterred, Lean pursued the remaining creature, driven by the urgency to protect the humans. Arriving at the scene, Lin discovered a carriage tethered to horses. Perceiving the imminent threat, one of the beasts lunged at the knight on horseback, bewildering Lin. This particular human had eluded his life sensor initially, adding an unexpected layer of mystery to the unfolding events. Intrigued and on high alert, the dark-haired adventurer braced himself for the impending confrontation. Within the carriage, Lin's life sensor skill discerned the unmistakable traces of two distinct human magical powers. Even the horses exuded magical energy. However, the knight astride the horse eluded Lin's senses, prompting a realization that there might be skills in this world designed to circumvent such detection. The dark-haired adventurer began to suspect that the four seemingly magicless men might be imposters, concealing their true nature. As the monstrous beast collided with the horse, causing the knight to tumble vulnerably, Lin believed it to be the end for the valiant defender. Yet, a sudden manifestation of swirling fire, conjured by a woman within the carriage, thwarted the impending doom. The fireball struck the beast, momentarily halting its advance. The woman, holding a short staff, stood proudly, surprising Lin with her mastery of fire magic. However, the respite was short-lived, as the beast recovered and renewed its assault on the carriage. The knight scrambled to protect the woman, but their efforts fell short. It was then that Lin, emerging from his hiding spot, positioned himself in front of the carriage. Drawing his sword, he deftly sliced at the beast's legs, diverting its trajectory and causing it to collapse beside the carriage. Though the knights attempted to communicate with Lien, the language barrier rendered their efforts futile. Focused on the formidable foe, Lin observed that the three-legged creature, sustained by its fur, fat, and skin, still posed a threat. Recognizing the need for a decisive blow, Lin rushed forward, executing a swift strike that severed the beast's neck, incapacitating it within moments. The unexpected display of skill garnered surprised reactions from onlookers. In homage to the fallen foe, Lin bowed respectfully before sheathing his sword. Aware of his depleted magical powers, Lin examined the boar's carcass, contemplating its potential use in the future. As one of the guards attempted to converse with him, the language barrier persisted, emphasizing the stark difference in communication. Employing his magic sensor at its peak efficiency, Lin detected the faintest magical response from the guard, confirming his humanity. In this unfamiliar world, it became evident that humans possessed a minuscule amount of magic, a fact that Lin would need to navigate in his quest for understanding and survival. As the scene unfolded, magic permeated the air, revealing varying levels of magical power among the individuals. Stepping out of the carriage, two women emerged, and one of them respectfully bowed to Lin. Despite their language barrier, Lin sensed that these women were wielders of significant magical abilities, likely holding high status in this unfamiliar world. In an attempt to communicate, Lin explained his linguistic limitations, momentarily placing his sword aside as a gesture of respect. This unexpected display of etiquette surprised the smaller of the two women, who reciprocated the bow. It reminded Lin of royal customs in his former world, wondering if such gestures translated accurately to this new realm. The two women engaged in conversation, seemingly discussing Lien, and after some deliberation, the taller woman sighed, agreeing to the smaller one's proposal. Approaching Lin, the shorter woman gently took his hand, motioning towards a distant building, a clear invitation to accompany her to her residence. Lin accepted, recognizing the need for friendly interactions and local connections. For a moment, he stowed his items in a regular storage, concealing his extraordinary skills to blend in seamlessly with the new world's norms. Returning to the group, Lin observed the shorter woman utilizing healing magic to tend to the guards wounded in the earlier beast encounter. Though he initially perceived the taller woman as having higher status, the scale of the shorter woman's magic was notably potent. Despite some hesitancy, Lin complied with their invitation to enter the carriage, which promptly transported him to the Zore Dominion feudal lord residence. Seated calmly on stone bricks, Lin was served refreshments by the middle-aged mid. Inside the building, two men engaged in discussions about him. Zidmore family patriarch Znangle, observing Lin from the window, inquired with Ezak, one of the knights accompanying the women, about his impressions of the foreign stranger. Ezak acknowledged Lin's formidable military strength, but commended his courteous demeanor. Zangle, not overly alarmed by Lin's presence, decided to offer the garden hut to the visitor. As a year passed, birds soared through the forest sky, and Lin could be seen sprinting through the verdant expanse, his sword at his side. His heightened senses detected the presence of two beings, marking the beginning of a new chapter in his journey through this mystical world. Driven by the instinctive detection of magical beasts, Lin swiftly leaped over a tree, homing in on their location. The beasts growled, sensing the impending battle, but their preparation was in vain. Lin's deft swordsmanship dispatched the formidable creatures within seconds. Once again, he bowed in respect for their fallen foes before returning to the residence. Entering through the wooden door, Lin was greeted with a good morning from Ike, the knight who expressed admiration for Lin's hunting prowess. The camaraderie between them was palpable, and Lin sensed Ike's desire for another sparring session. Tossing a sword to Ike, the two warriors moved to the front of the hut, preparing for their duel. With swords in hand, the clash commenced, the power seemingly equal for a moment. Having spent a year at the Zore estate, Lin had overcome the language barrier, earning respect and acceptance from the local community. The suspicious glances he once received had transformed into camaraderie, thanks to the kindness of Lady Luvana, Fel, and the knight, Sir Ike. Their sparring continued until Lin emerged victorious, holding his blade against Ike's neck, who conceded defeat. Their conversation was interrupted by onlookers eager for their turn against Lin. The front of Lin's hut had become an impromptu training ground, where challengers tried in vain to best the skilled adventurer. Despite their efforts, none could overcome Lin's prowess. As more people gathered, an old woman approached Lin, diverting his attention. She informed him that Lady Luvana Fel had summoned him after breakfast. The request was accompanied by a suggestion to change into more formal attire. Lin, not entirely accustomed to such attire even after a year, agreed and proceeded to make the necessary adjustments. After the transformation, Lin was greeted by Lu, the short girl, with a bow. Following her request, he affectionately referred to her as Louis, a nickname she had bestowed upon him. The request, however, came with a condition. Lien was to protect her on her way to a specific cliff. Lin agreed, contingent upon Ike's instructions to accompany her. Lu insisted she had already informed Minka, Lu's servant, of the arrangement. With the agreement in place, Lin prepared for the upcoming task, ready to fulfill his role as a protector in this unfamiliar world. Lady Luvana Fel had just secured permission from her father when she abruptly changed the topic. She requested Lin to wear his usual clothes instead of the fancy ones he was often urged to don. Lin found it amusing how his wardrobe had undergone multiple changes that morning. Without hesitation, he switched into a protective vest made from the threads of various rock spiders. Known for their splendid defensive magic, his pants were crafted from rare resources, and a cloak fashioned from the hide of the bear king added defensive attributes. A jewel sewn onto the collar provided additional self-restoration capabilities. Lin felt at ease with the familiar equipment he had grown accustomed to. Ezak swiftly called for Lin, urging him to leave immediately to guard the young lady's carriage. Despite Ezak noticing Lin's altered appearance, he refrained from commenting, dismissing his thoughts with a sigh. Lin, regardless of his appearance, didn't quite fit the mold of a typical noble's guard. As they approached the forested mountains, Lin stayed close to the carriage, tasked with protecting the family patriarch and the young lady when they ventured outside. The job seemed easy, confined mostly to the forest and its outskirts. However, the comfort of the Zore household struck Lin as almost too easy. His purpose in this world transcended a peaceful lifestyle. He sought new experiences, formidable adversaries, wealth, and strength. The mention of mazes in this world, reminiscent of those in his previous world, piqued his interest, sparking a desire to explore them in the future. Interrupted by the presence of a magical beast nearby, Lin signaled to Ezak that he would handle it. Sprinting toward the source, he encountered a spider monkey descending from a tree. Swiftly dodging its attack, Lin preemptively charged toward the beast, preventing it from preparing a breath attack. With a deft slice, he incapacitated the creature, decapitating it before it could react. Lin swiftly retrieved the magic stone from the fallen monster, recognizing its value in this world for various purposes. Returning to the group, he tossed the magic stone to Ezak, who grinned and nodded in acknowledgement. They continued their trek toward the destination, finally arriving as Louis received instructions. She emerged into the open air, an eager smile on her face, setting the knight momentarily on edge. Yet there was no cause for concern. Her only desire appeared to be standing at the cliff's edge, gazing at the breathtaking view that stretched into the distance. The young lady's mood was unusually uplifted, though Lin couldn't shake the fleeting sense of sorrow that crossed Lu's face for a brief moment. Maro, meticulous in her attention, arranged Lu's hair and adorned her with a necklace, showering compliments on the young girl's beauty. Night descended, signaling the start of a celebration. Lu's father gathered everyone, announcing that this day marked her transition to adulthood at the age of 14. Cheers erupted, and drinks were raised in a toast. Knights occupied tables throughout the spacious residence, and Lian found himself standing next to one, fixating on a grandly cooked chicken. A butler, observant of his distraction, offered to separate the food for him. Lian accepted, expressing gratitude and delving into his meal, savoring the well-balanced spices. Lost in contemplation, Lien recalled his initial perception of Louis as a simple-minded child. In this world, however, 14-year-olds were considered adults, opening the door to matters like marriage. Eek engaged Lien in casual conversation, initially discussing wine, but then abruptly turning serious. In a secluded corner, Eek cautioned Lien to avoid the library temporarily. The impending visits of messengers from other noble households, less understanding than Lu's family, posed a threat of unnecessary trouble. Apologies were offered and the conversation concluded. The following day, Lien resumed his frequent hunting, unhindered by the duty of protecting the residents. Venturing deeper into the mountains, he sought formidable magical beasts. Fortune favored him as an unusually strong magical presence. A large blue dot caught his attention on only the third day of his quest. Swiftly unsheathing his sword, Lien braced for a potentially remarkable encounter, grateful for the unexpected stroke of luck in his adventurous pursuits. Concealed behind a slope, Lien patiently waited as the mysterious blue dot on his magical radar. Soon, a massive creature emerged, a bizarre amalgamation of a turtle and a porcupine. Devouring a bee-like monster from a previous encounter, the newly discovered magical beast stood an imposing 10 feet tall and 20 feet wide, boasting 3 eyes and 6 stout legs. Uncertain of the creature's weaknesses or how to effectively engage it, Lien pondered his options. Attempting a direct confrontation seemed perilous, as the potential lack of knowledge about the monster's vulnerabilities could prove fatal. Debating withdrawal, fate intervened as Lien inadvertently stepped on a branch, alerting the magical beast to his presence. The creature's quills bristled, signaling an imminent attack. Lien, quick on his feet, invoked a wind spell, gracefully evading the onslaught of quills. However, his wind skill was not tailored for sustained flight, leaving him with limited distance. The relentless assault ceased momentarily, only to be replaced by the creature preparing a breath attack. Lien narrowly evaded, but the force sent him crashing to the ground. Feeling the biting cold from the breath attack, Lien recognized the peril he faced with his current equipment. Choosing prudence over recklessness, he sprinted into the forest, relying on the creature's slow pursuit. With 100 feet covered, Lien found refuge behind a tree. Catching his breath, the monstrous pursuer crashed through the trees, closing in. Spotting a cliff in the distance, Lien formulated a desperate plan. Ascending the cliffside, he evaded the creature's notice and hid behind a tree as it puzzled over his disappearance. Astonished by the magical beast's strength, Lien resorted to replenishing his magic with enchanted stones. Recalling medicine from the Zamor household, he hesitated, but ultimately found it unpalatable and inhuman. Turning to medicine from his former world, Lien discovered its feeble efficacy. Despite the challenges, the dark-haired adventurer remained resolute, determined to navigate the complexities of magical encounters in his quest for formidable prey. Lien, aware that his magic needed replenishing, pondered the potential challenges of facing the formidable magical beast again. The encounter had left him with a realization that he needed to secure a replacement for his depleted magic stones. Returning to the Zamor household, he noticed the opulent carriage of an aristocrat, suggesting the presence of a guest. However, what caught his attention was the extravagant luxury of the carriage. Days later, a sense of unease gripped Lien in the night. Jumping awake, he detected a magical presence heading straight for the main building where Louis and Marinko resided. Swiftly donning his sword and armor, Lien, determined to protect the household, sprinted toward the impending threat. As he approached, he witnessed a skilled assassin scaling the building effortlessly, aiming for Lou's bedroom. Realizing the urgency, Lien used his wind skill to ascend to the roof, intercepting the assassin. The deadly encounter ended swiftly, with Lien decapitating the would-be assailant. Peering through the window, he sighed in relief, finding Louis still safely asleep. Lou's father and Isak, however, wore dark expressions, contemplating the severity of the threat. Zanak Kal, the family patriarch, revealed that a marriage alliance with the Shad Dresster family, nobles connected to the royal family, had been arranged for Louis. This revelation explained the motives behind the assassination attempt. Despite the family's disappointment in their security measures, they acknowledged the gravity of the situation. Zeke questioned whether capturing the assassin alive would have been possible, but Zainul defended Lean's actions, emphasizing the likelihood of the assassin choosing death over cooperation. Acknowledging the lack of recourse against the mastermind, they decided to leave the unknowns behind. Lou's father marveled at Lean's extraordinary abilities, but Lean chose to remain silent about his powers. Zanak Kal, respecting Lean's discretion, expressed gratitude for his swift intervention and urged him to continue protecting his daughter. Lean, bowing in agreement, committed to the ongoing safeguarding of Louis. As another night fell, another assassin attempted to breach the household's defenses. Lean, leaping over the brick wall, readied his crossbow for the impending threat, determined to face whatever challenges lay ahead. Lean's swift action dealt with the fourth assassin attempting to end Louis's life, leaving him exhausted from the persistent threats. He knew that until Louv's wedding concluded safely, he couldn't afford to move away. The next day, Lean engaged in a conversation with Louis about his hometown and personal background, referred to as Al-Envy, a name given to those believed to come from another world, rumored to possess extraordinary power. Louis, seemingly convinced of Lean's unique origins, was interrupted by an old woman notifying her of other appointments. However, Louis surprised Lean by insisting he wait and then requested to see the red jewel on his. Panic set in for Leon, who had taken great care to keep the jewel hidden. Placing it on a plate, Louis admired it and, unexpectedly, offered her own necklace in exchange. The old maid warned against it, but Louis insisted. Leon, feeling a sense of obligation, bowed and accepted the exchange, bewildering himself in the process. Walking away, Lean contemplated why he had agreed to part with the precious jewel. Deciding to dismiss his thoughts, he considered slipping away before the wedding preparations, hoping Louis would eventually forget about the mysterious stranger. Little did he know, his plans would take an unexpected turn. As Louis finalized her wedding preparations, Leon, sitting beside a tree, stared at a field of vegetables in the distance. Morta, a teasing acquaintance, approached, questioning Lean's fascination with the vegetables. Lean greeted Morta and chewed on a griffle leaf, enjoying a moment of silence together. Morta noted the absence of knights in training, initiating a conversation that hinted at the looming changes in Lean's journey. Lean found himself in a contemplative mood as he spoke with Len about recent events. Len admitted to a lack of motivation, and Morta shared the sentiment, observing a general lack of energy among the residents since Louis's departure for marriage. The loneliness prompted Lean to reflect on his past isolation before Louis welcomed him into the current world. Grateful for Lou's kindness, Lean felt compelled to repay it. Recalling a past encounter with a formidable magical beast, Lean decided to confront it once again to test his abilities. Determined to repay Lou's kindness through battle, he sought a suitable weapon. However, his search for a spear-like weapon proved futile. Undeterred, Lean resolved to face the monster on a. Returning to the forest, Lean faced the charging beast. Using his wind skill, he skillfully dodged its attacks, causing it to crash into a tree. However, when Lean attempted to strike the beast's head, he discovered its extraordinary hardness and flexibility. The monster retaliated with a breath and needle attack, destroying Lean's weapon. Exhausted, Lean retreated to his hut, contemplating the beast's formidable abilities. He recognized the need for high-grade magical potions and pondered the challenge of producing them. Despite the day's struggles, Lean found value in understanding the beast's power and formulating a strategy for future encounters. As he rested on his bed, the lingering threat of the beast's attacks weighed on Lean's mind. He acknowledged the exposed portion of the neck as a potential weak point, but pondered the difficulty of targeting it. Reflecting on the day's fight, Lean recognized its importance in honing his skills and preparing for future battles against the formidable monster. In contemplating the beast's vulnerability near the throat, Len realized that a second stab could be too perilous, even with a proper weapon. Concerned for his safety, he strategized on how to face such a formidable adversary. Determined to confront the monster once more and eager to escape its growing strength, Len embarked on another attempt to fight. As Len sought the creature, he discovered it curled up and sleeping nearby, presenting a golden opportunity for the dark-haired adventurer. Reflecting on the necklace Louis had given him, Len began to suspect its potential benefits. Drawing his blade, Len aimed for the third eye, hoping to gain an advantage. However, the monster woke up, evading Len's initial strike. Surprisingly, Len succeeded in piercing the monster's skin, creating confusion about what had changed since his previous attempt. Slashing down the side of its head, Len realized the necklace might be amplifying his offensive abilities. Regardless of the true reason, Len was confident in his ability to defeat the creature. As the monster turned to flee, Len noticed it was out of needles and decided to lure it back for a final confrontation. Despite the impending breath attack, Len bravely faced the beast, using his bear king hide to withstand the assault. Taking advantage of the rocky terrain, Len dodged the monster's roll, eventually charging and slicing through its jaw, delivering the final blow. With the creature defeated, Len sighed in relief and bowed in respect. Ready to embark on a new adventure, he journeyed through the lands until he stopped near a bridge. Enjoying a meal of fried fish by the fire, Len attracted the attention of villagers who mistook him for an adventurer. Confirming his identity, Len was approached for a favor to deal with a mysterious creature known as a Zore. Unfamiliar with this entity, Len crafted a half-lie about his origins, claiming to be from the north and ignorant of the local language. The villagers explained that a Zog was a ghost distinct from magical beasts, sparking Len's interest in yet another unknown challenge. The Zog, a mysterious non-living creature resembling a horned eyeless human, had been causing trouble in the village. Len learned about a missing child and the Zog's attack on the child's family. Intrigued by the unknown and motivated by the desire for information and experience, Len accepted the villagers' request to deal with the Zog. In exchange for his services, Len secured meals and overnight accommodation. Luckin, disguised as Lean, bid a temporary farewell to the Zore estate, receiving a generous amount of money from Zores and Eek. The villagers led Len into the forest where the attack occurred, not far from the village itself. Sensing the Zog's presence within a 300-meter radius, Len warned the man in the hat about the danger of venturing alone. As they approached, they discovered the creature sitting near a tree. Len confronted the Zog, and with swift precision, he beheaded the monster, ending the battle. Returning to the village, Len apologized for not bringing back a magic stone, but was surprised to find that the villagers were more astonished by his victory over the Zog. He received a silver nugget as a reward and inquired about good doctors in the area. An old man directed him to a doctor in the town of Vulka. Leaving the village, Len headed to Vulka, entering a tavern to find information. While enjoying kebabs, an old man approached him with an escort job offer. The mention of Vulka caught Len's attention, and he quickly accepted the job, paying for his meal before following the old man named Ian. The shipper, Shaney, revealed another person escorting the carriage, a woman who suddenly emerged from the busy tavern. Lean observed the newcomer, Aya, as she gracefully entered the scene, proudly declaring her gold-class status. However, Lean couldn't help but notice that Aya, despite her age, didn't exude the typical aura of an adventurer. Intrigued, Lean inquired about the classes and organizations, prompting IN to explain the system based on adventurers' abilities. As preparations for departure unfolded, Cheney instructed AA to disembark and walk, confusing her. Lean, aware that Aya's presence added weight to the carriage, deemed her a seemingly useless novice. Yet, Lean couldn't ignore the significant magical prowess AA possessed. The client they were escorting also seemed to carry a mysterious air. Len, taking charge, announced he would lead in front of the carriage, but Aya insisted on taking the lead. However, Len cautioned her, explaining the risks of being targeted during an attack. AA stumbled but maintained composure, arguing she was doing him a favor. The journey commenced, with night falling swiftly. The group utilized a magical tool for illumination, impressing Leon. Setting up camp, Lean noticed Cheney's use of magic to ward off evil spirits and questioned the prevalence of such magical tools in Vulka. As the men discussed the young girl's role, Len, recalling Aya's struggles, couldn't help but feel a pang of empathy. IN proposed fetching Aya before dinner, and despite reluctance, Len agreed. As he ventured away from camp, he sensed an unsettling presence, prompting him to use magical stones to activate his wing skill. In a rush, Len set out to find Aya and swiftly returned to the men by the still brewing meal. The horse's agitation alarmed Ian, who went to investigate, only to encounter glowing eyes in the darkness. The swift return of Len with a puzzled Ian, who was momentarily scared by the glowing eyes. Aya, drawn by the aroma of food, apologized for her unexpected nap, explaining she had hit her head on a tree. After dinner, everyone retired for the night, but Len, uneasy, remained awake. Despite the protection against evil spirits, he sensed a gathering of magical beasts near the camp. At dawn, Len woke Aya, informing her of the approaching danger, 200 magical beasts. Cheney, disappointed by his unintended summoning of the beasts, suggested migrating while the protective barrier was active. Len, concerned about the potential destruction of the town, proposed keeping the protection active until they left the forest. As they departed, magical beasts emerged from the trees. Len noted that the actual number seemed fewer than anticipated, attributing it to some beasts choosing to remain in the mountains. Aid suggested involving the garrison in Vulka, but the men were against it, considering the village in their path would be annihilated. Observing the beasts, Len recognized them as lower-level magical creatures, lacking exceptional magical power. Instructing Aya to guard the carriage, Len effortlessly dispatched the beasts, earning the admiration of his companions. Intrigued, bombarded Len with questions about his identity, to which Len remained mostly silent until asked about his ring, prompting a contemplative stare before confirming its presence. Continuing their journey, the group took a break on the third day, with Ada complaining about red monkeys pursuing them. Len pointed out that the monkeys likely targeted her due to her distinctive scarf, standing out to magical beasts. Ian and Cheney thanked Eda for the information, and AI chimed in they could proceed without worry. As they advanced, Lan sensed hidden individuals ahead, likely planning an ambush. Aya, eager to prove herself, believed it was her time to shine. However, Len, skeptical due to her previous performance, expressed doubt. Aya mentioned her struggle to use a bow at night, confusing Len, who asked about using magic. Aya, feeling teased, insisted he stop messing with her. Approaching the concealed attackers, Len instructed Ian not to move the carriage until signaled. He told Aya to be prepared, but not to shoot. Len skillfully located the hidden individuals, impressed by their ability to conceal themselves. He charged toward them, using one as a shield against an arrow before swiftly dealing with the archers. Facing the final opponent armed with a magical gun, Len used his wind skill to divert the gun's aim, resulting in a loud explosion that alarmed the rest of the group. Arriving at the scene, the others were concerned, questioning what happened. Len assured them he was fine, explaining the explosion came from a magical tool. The fate of the bandits was discussed, but Ian suggested moving on. Ara, angered by the bandits having the same class adventurer badge as hers, was reassured by the men that it likely wasn't theirs. Continuing toward the town of Vulka, as the sun set, Ian diverted off the road, confusing Cheney. It turned out to be a suggestion to purify themselves at the Reverbed. Refreshing themselves, Cheney opted to stay behind, clutching a wooden box. Suddenly, Ian cast a sleep spell, causing Len and AA to fall asleep. Pulling out a gun, Ian aimed it at Cheney, leaving him confused and betrayed, questioning his friend's actions. 5 years had passed since Cheney, the man who had been a friend to Ian, suddenly turned on him. However, Ian, now revealed to be Maracus Cold-Blooded Maracus, a man supposed to have been executed long ago, wasn't alarmed. Maracus shared that a man named Zach Zekar had seemingly saved him. Ready to shoot Cheney, Maracus found himself disarmed by Leon, who had the situation under control. Leon, without revealing the secret, killed Maracus, disappointed in the old man's errors. Finally, arriving at the town of Vulka, Leon could rest. As he got dressed and went downstairs for breakfast, he inadvertently offended AA by not sitting next to her. At noon, Cheney arrived at the lodging for a meeting with Lean and AA. AA received 2 silver nuggets as a reward, leading to confusion as they discussed it being 5. Cheney asked to see AR's adventurer medal, discovering the engraved name as Idol, sounding like a boy's name. Concerned about her age since the promotion for silver class occurred 18 years ago, AA panicked as her cover was being exposed. Attempting to run, she was stopped by Lean, and Cheney warned her about the serious crime of impersonation. Cheney decided to turn a blind eye once, respecting her father, but cautioned her not to repeat it. After AA left, Shaney rewarded Lean with a gold nugget, insisting it was well-deserved. Expressing interest in building a favorable relationship, Shaney mentioned Lean's skill and wanted to introduce him to a skilled doctor. Lean accepted, but shifted the conversation to his desire to learn how to make medicine. Shaney suggested waiting a few days to arrange the meeting, and when it happened, Lean found himself in an obscure alley with an enormous amount of magic power, entering a small wooden building. He was instructed to come in. Lean entered the room and saw a monkey, momentarily confused until a voice guided him to another room. There, an old lady named Sheila sat in a wooden chair, introducing herself and her monkey, Jericho. Lean was bewildered by the discrepancy between his perception of an elderly woman and the young form detected by his 3D object sensor. Interrupted in his thoughts, he sat down and was thanked by Sheila for protecting Shaney. Sheila swiftly shifted the conversation to Lean's purpose there, to learn the techniques of a doctor. Lean explained that, as an adventurer, it made sense for him to acquire such skills. Additionally, he discovered a liking for making magic medicine. Impressed by the quality of Lean's medicine and the unique ingredients used, Sheila joked about buying them. Lean wondered if he had revealed too much when Sheila abruptly informed him of an exam to determine his resourcefulness and endurance for becoming her apprentice. His first step was to visit the Adventurer Association and take the Ministry Commission. Without questioning, Lean followed Sheila's instructions and entered the building. A woman named Aya, having heard about him from Shaney, asked if he intended to register. During the process of answering general questions, Lean was registered as a Copper-class adventurer of the Vulka Adventure Association. His adventure medal would be ready the next. Lean inquired about the Ministry Commission, and Aya directed him to make a direct application at the reception. She explained that a Ministry Commission was an aid system, where rewards were deducted from taxes for those without money. Lean requested it to be prepared by the next day, understanding the potential for class advancement through experience. The next day arrived, and Lean's first task was to clean up the crumbled garden stones of an old man within a single day. Bewildered by the seemingly impossible task, Lean learned that an earthquake years ago had left the garden in disrepair. It was the old man's 12th request for a ministry commission, but no one had been able to fix it. Lean saw this as a small miracle and prepared to undertake the challenge, determined to pick up the heavy stones with his two arms. Lean embarked on the heavy labor task of moving garden stones, a job that many had skipped due to its demanding nature. He wondered about the criteria for passing Sheila's exam, but she explained that she would be the judge. Struggling through the labor, Lean took off his shirt to ease the job, leaving the old man in awe of his efforts. After completing the task, Lean informed the old man that the house and fields could now be rebuilt. With calloused hands outstretched, he received the copper coin for completing the request. Returning to the Adventure Association, Lean explained to AR that it took him 4 days instead of 1. She let it slide and assigned him the next task, one that made him hesitate, as it involved playing instead of physical labor. Lean requested to do it the next day and sought solace in the forest, killing magical beasts to distract himself from the challenges he faced. Exhausted and yearning for the familiar maze challenges of his past, Lean sat down, contemplating what skills from his maze experiences could aid him in the upcoming request. The next day, he found himself at a church orphanage, greeted by horrified expressions from the children. Introducing himself with a seemingly evil grin, Lean had a plan in mind. The request appeared to be completed successfully, surprising Era, who noted the orphanage's request for Lean to return another time. Lean explained how insights from the mazes helped him connect with the children, understanding boys liked monkey-like magical beasts and girls like crab-like magical beasts. Lean inquired about the next request, only to be informed by Era that Sheila declared he had passed the exam. Surprised by the abrupt conclusion, Lean was nonetheless glad to hear it. As he was about to leave, Era mentioned one last request, a peculiar one from a famous magical beast trainer named Donnie in Lumo Village. Lean accepted without question and arrived at Donnie's residence, confirming his identity as the candidate for the request. Donnie introduced a monkey-like beast named Pallado, whispering commands imbued with magic to control the creature. Pallado's actions left Lean suspicious about the seemingly easy quest, especially since the reward was a large silver coin. Donnie insisted it was challenging because Lean had to carry a substantial amount of food for the monkey. Lean walked to the forest with Palado, observing the monkey's behavior. However, he became perplexed when Palado aimlessly looked around without moving. Lean approached threateningly, causing the monkey to submit immediately. Realizing something was amiss, Lean returned when the sun set, but Donnie seemed unsatisfied, requiring Lean to repeat the task the next day. Lean questioned if the true reason was that he prevented Palado from running away. Donnie was surprised that Lean figured it out and explained the history of gibbons fighting timberwolves in Bart's village. Concerned for Palado's safety, Donnie attempted to make the monkey run away. Lean disagreed, believing magical beasts wouldn't be happy if denied the opportunity to fight. He highlighted the bond between Palado and himself, and when Donnie asked Palado if he would fight for him, the monkey eagerly agreed. Lean suggested Donnie send a request to the Association for battle training. He trained Palado for 10 days, confident the monkey would have won the match despite Donnie's win. Donnie continued to argue that timberwolves were better suited for defense, prompting opponents to demand a rematch in 10 years. Donnie received numerous requests for his training services. The subject shifted to Lean's apprenticeship, something he eagerly anticipated. Sheila confirmed the truth despite what he heard at the association. They headed out to gather medicinal herbs around Vulka, arriving at the same reverbed where Maracus's true identity was revealed. However, a young woman, not an elderly one, appeared as Sheila. Lean, unperturbed, explained his ability to see her in two forms simultaneously. Sheila mentioned it was more convenient this way. Sheila urged Lean to leave town in her current form, a faster pace than Lean expected. At a densely vegetated part of the forest, Sheila questioned why Lean struggled with the garden stones and why he didn't buy stamina restoration medicine. Confused, Lean's expression darkened when a woman confirmed that Lean was Alan Vi, revealing that Sheila knew because of Cheney's suspicions. Realizing the need to keep his identity a secret, Lean became more cautious. As they gathered herbs, Sheila taught Lean about their edibility, toxicity, and how mishandling could reduce their effectiveness. She gave him a bag containing a box with an almost infinite void, allowing him to carry items without feeling their weight. Lean mentioned having something similar and pulled out a blade from his gut, shocking Sheila. Uncertain about the limits of his storage ability, Lean gathered more herbs while Sheila warned him not to be taken advantage of due to his unique power. Nightfall arrived, and Sheila impressed Lean by manifesting light without chanting. She encouraged him to train to acquire such skills, asking about his magic in his former world. Lean explained that acquiring magic was a rare ability obtained by defeating magical beasts, not something chosen. In the current world, magical power depended on aptitude and talent. Realizing the potential for training, Lean was willing to learn, starting. Focused on his hands, Lean successfully lit something up on his first try, exciting both him and Sheila. Impressed, Sheila advised Len to practice the spell at various sizes and distances. Lean stared, almost losing Sheila's words to the wind, as he contemplated the possibilities of acquiring magic through training. With the infectious enthusiasm of a child, Lean continued to hone his magical skills, practicing spells with increasing proficiency. The break of dawn marked their success in gathering a substantial quantity of medicinal herbs, thanks in part to the assistance of Lantern. Although Lean discreetly relied on his object sensor ability, Sheila, appreciative of the efforts, instructed Lean to store the herbs in his magical storage. As they moved on to their next destination, the distance exceeded Lan's expectations, prompting him to comprehend why Sheila preferred the appearance of a young girl. Sprinting since morning, Lean realized the practicality of Sheila's chosen form, sparing bystanders from the spectacle of an elderly lady racing by at such speed. Recognizing the need for stamina, Lean tested the effectiveness of a stamina restoration medicine, marveling at the renewed strength in his legs. Focusing on learning magical skills and crafting, medicine became Lean's priority. Arriving at a mineshaft filled with versatile gemstones, Lean efficiently stored a substantial amount in his magical storage. However, their moment of accomplishment was disrupted by an individual claiming ownership of the cave for the past 5 years. Sheila, unfazed, turned the encounter into a lesson, employing spells like Petrify and Dehydrate to neutralize the intruder. Lean, still grappling with Sheila's mysterious identity, questioned his decision to learn from her. Attempts at rest were interrupted by Sheila's mischievous monkey, startling Lean awake. Following Sheila's instructions, Lean engaged in magical practice, experimenting with spells like Pulse Bell. A labor-intensive day concluded with the cleanup of materials gathered from the forest. Exhausted, Lean was roused from the brink of sleep by Sheila, signaling a trip to town to sell barrels of pottery, a substance used to repel magical beasts. The unexpected amount of gold coins received in exchange left Lean pleasantly surprised. The duo ventured into town, ready for further adventures and discoveries in their mystical journey. Inquiring about the effectiveness of the pottery on Jericho, Lean discovered that Sheila had cast a protective spell on the mischievous monkey to render such substances ineffective. With their day's work complete, Sheila remembered Lean's desire to explore a maze and proposed a 10-day break for the boy. The Goldber maze, the closest one, was only 2 days away, a journey that would be expedited by Lean's powers. Before embarking on his journey, Lean planned to gather information about the maze. However, his contemplations were interrupted by a man delivering a message from his master, Cheney. Grateful for the assistance in becoming Sheila's apprentice, Lean expressed his thanks. Cheney, in turn, conveyed gratitude and delved into the main purpose of their meeting. Maracus's gun, a creation of Sheila's close friend, had fallen into the hands of an assassin. Intrigued, Lean considered consulting Sheila for more insights but sensed a need to maintain caution around Cheney. To shift the focus, Lean inquired about Goldber Maze, prompting Cheney to share details on acquiring a map and vague information about the maze itself. Armed with this information, Lean made his way to the maze capital, Goldber, by the next day. As he navigated the town, a group of knights caught his attention, individuals warned by Cheney to avoid. These knights had manipulated and blackmailed an adventurer who possessed a valuable treasure from the maze. Seeking to enter the maze, Lean encountered a soldier with a distinct demeanor, suggesting a multitude of former adventurers in the capital. Hindered from entering immediately, Lean finally stepped inside, only to be bewildered by the strange occurrences, with people seemingly vanishing and reappearing on the same floor. Determined to press forward, Lean brushed off the oddities, anticipating a deeper understanding as he ventured through the enigmatic maze. Reaching the stairs, he was taken aback by their size, unable to fathom the lower floors with his life sensor, setting the stage for the mysteries that awaited him. On the first floor, Lean encountered red monkeys, posing little challenge to his skills. Eager for a greater test, he descended to deeper floors. The next level introduced timberwolves, still manageable for Lean. However, a cry for help echoed through the cave, leading him to rescue 2 individuals under attack. The defeated beast dropped a mysterious box containing a dagger. While the boy thanked Lean, the adventurer's focus lingered on an unfamiliar gem, revealed to be a red potion. Advising the boy to use it on the injured girl, Lean witnessed its immediate effectiveness. Declining any repayment, Lean departed with the desired information. The third floor presented a seemingly mundane landscape of rocks, but some concealed magical properties. Attempting to cut through one, Lean discovered its slimy resistance. Observing other adventurers, he discerned the rock's vulnerability to magic. Drawing from his storage, Lean revealed a lightning dragon gauntlet, dispatching the magical rocks with ease. Engaged and invigorated, Lean mused that mazes were where he truly felt alive. Reflecting on his hazy childhood memories, tainted by negativity, Lean found solace in mazes. Escaping a strict orphanage, his chance encounter with a maze marked the beginning of his journey. The adrenaline of his first monster encounter fueled his desire for more challenges, shaping him into a skilled and wealthy adventurer. Despite their harshness, mazes, in Lean's perspective, offered fairness. Reaching the 25th floor of Goldber Maze, Lean exhibited his prowess by leaping above a spider beast, swiftly dealing a fatal blow. Taking a break on the 26th floor, he assessed his acquired items and decided it was time to conclude his venture for the day. Exiting the maze, Lean was intercepted by soldiers, led by Captain Doug, who cryptically labeled him a demon lord, setting the stage for an intriguing turn of events. Led into Captain Doug's room to address the complaints against him, Lean found himself confronted by accusations of threats and supposed attacks on the first and second floors. Denying any wrongdoing, Lean questioned the necessity of the investigation. Doug, in his role of protecting young adventurers, clarified that he needed to handle strong individuals who might pose a threat. Acknowledging the unease he inadvertently caused, Lean grasped why he had earned the dubious title of a demon lord. Doug, impressed by Lean's willingness to understand and change his ways, appreciated the young adventurer's cooperative attitude. When informed of an injury caused by Lean, he produced 2 red potions as a gesture of goodwill, surprising Doug with the gesture and earning praise for his kindness. Curious about purchasing goods, Lean emptied his bag of acquired items on Doug's desk, leaving soldiers and the captain in shock at the abundance. Short on funds, the soldiers couldn't afford the items, prompting Lean to arrange for payment the next day. Changing the subject, Lean sought Doug's advice on lodgings with good meals, hinting at his intention to stay the night. Returning to Vulka AI after his mission, Lean encountered a persistent AK-seeking partnership. Brushing off her attempts, he urged her to learn magic for self-reliance. As Lean shared his maze adventures with Sheila, a knocked on the door, having followed. Despite initial annoyance, Sheila welcomed AA for tea. Lean, hesitant to teach magic, relented when Sheila suggested it could enhance his skills. Agreeing to teach AA in secret, Lean embarked on an unexpected journey of mentorship, fueled by the promise of mastering a fire arrow spell.